That Islam Makhachev versus Della Maddalena fight just happened, and these are the reactions from the MMA world.
Теперь у нас тоже есть два чемпиона. У нас самая сильная страна, самая сильная республика, самые лучшие бойцы.
We were all wondering how Islam would look at 170, if the strength, if the power, if the grappling would translate. As the week went on, I think we all thought, okay, he's really comfortable looking at 170. He's looking really good without his shirt in those photos and in the training footage that we saw. And he said it afterwards, Chuck, in the post-fight interview to Joe Rogan. He's like, man, this is a dream. I feel so much better. And it's a scary thought. That's his first fight at 170. Just think how he's going to look after his second and his third. It's really remarkable what this guy is doing. I'm blown away by the performance because I really think the world of Della, who had not, lost in the UFC and was on an incredible winning streak himself, to do that to him is nothing short of amazing.
See, now, I ain't going to lie to you guys. I want to see Ilia Topuria versus Islam now. I want to see it even more now. Dude, Ilia versus Islam White House. Make it happen, Dana. Make it happen.
I like the over. I think the under-over is 2.5 rounds. I'm not sure what the lay is, what the money is as far as laying, but I can tell you if that's accurate, 2.5 rounds, I like the over. I'll tell you that.
Huh? Usman's there. Usman can be a problem. Can he? Well, you've seen how you done well against Chimaev as well.
Yeah.
That can be definitely. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably, and he doesn't take an unnecessary risk. So he's a smart. I think Usman will be Islam's toughest challenge. Won't take any unnecessary risk. Can stick to a game plan. Who's going to give Islam problems? Get me at 170. Get me at 170.
We'll get you back on the Maccas.
Nah, look. Again, feel bad for JDM. I feel for him. Obviously, you don't get much better dudes than Jack. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
I didn't plan on it, but my shuttle just got here and I saw him walk. I wanted to tell Habib and Islam both congratulations, man. What they're doing is incredible. Just won a belt, 15 pounds up. I mean, dominantly. It's just him and his team, the work they're doing and the way they're performing is incredible, man. I got to respect it,
I think when we think about the White House, it's almost like, oh, does it have to be America versus the world themed and stuff like that? For you, would you be happy putting a non-American main event on that card?
Yeah, it's not America versus the world. It's what's the best card we can build.
So could Islam end up on the White House?
We're talking about him possibly, GOAT talk here, depending on what he does in his next couple of fights. So it's a possibility. And I was saying to Habib, I've been in the fight business since I was 20 years old, and all I ever hear is, this guy's going to be a world champion, this guy's going to do this guy's going to do that. Everybody says the same thing, and almost nobody ever does or makes it. His father said, Habib will go in and dominate, and he'll have a run, and when he's done, and then Islam will come in behind him and do the same. And, holy shit, it played out exactly the way his father said, which is pretty amazing. I don't know what you asked me, but I hope I answered your question.
No, it's just... If you didn't watch the fight and you want to know just how dominant it was somewhat reminiscent of the Khamzat Chimaev Dricus du Plessis fight, which we saw back in August. The fight, each round starts standing. Shortly thereafter, there's a takedown, and Della was just never able to get up. He was never able to do much on the ground. towards the end of the fight, he looked defeated. He looked distraught. He looked deflated. His calf was messed up. Not to suggest that Islam didn't hit him with some shots standing, but it just was one-way traffic throughout. He is just so strong. He is so good. He is so dominant. He is so talented. And now he becomes just the 11th fighter in UFC history to win a belt in 2 different weight classes. He is also the man who has just won his 16th fight in a row, and in doing so ties the great Anderson Silva for the longest winning streak in UFC history. So all kinds of history made tonight at Madison Square Garden. He is the pound for pound best in the world. There is no denying that, and is slowly but surely going down as one of the greatest ever. And in my opinion, has put his mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov with this victory very much in the rearview mirror. He has surpassed him. If he had not done so already, Islam Makhachev is that guy. And now the welterweights, which we'll be talking about a lot on this here program, have a new problem to figure out, because this is going to be a very tricky puzzle.
I didn't think Islam was going to be able to, I didn't think Islam is small for 170. I've seen him in person. I've trained with him. He's a big fucking dude. And who would Islam fight next at 170? You know what? I think Islam is destined for, he should fight Ilia Topuria at the White House. If he beats Ilia Topuria, he retires. Islam has plenty of money, right? Go out on your shield like Khabib did. A lot of people in MMA don't want to see that, but in mixed martial arts, us athletes, we stay too long at the party. There's no reason for an athlete to continue to come to the head and all that stuff. If I was him, fight Ilia Topuria at the White House. You beat Ilia Topuria, walk away. I'm sure he made another one. That shit probably goes as far as fucking Russia, so there's no point for him to keep on fighting.
Topuria, I don't know if you saw his tweet. He said you're like the most boring fighter in the UFC or something like that. I know you said to ask you about him after the fight at Media Day. Can you give us your full thoughts on a fight with him now?
No injury, nothing. I don't feel any pains. I'm ready. Who is gonna be next? Let's do this, and I will make it easy.
Islam Makhachev speaks before the press conference, breaking down Jack Della Maddalena's sharp boxing and pressure. He explains why JDM's style makes this his toughest technical test with major stakes. In the lead up to the fight, Dana White talks about Islam Makhachev's career and his move up in weight. He highlights Islam's long win streak and recent victories, pointing out that many fans still underestimate the challenge Jack Della Maddalena brings. Dana explains that this fight could define Islam's legacy and shift how the public sees him as a top contender.
You know, Islam's looked at as one of the best ever, and moving up and trying to beat a guy at 170. The thing that's fascinated me about this whole thing, like, you know, Polymarket, you know, we did a deal with them this morning and they were showing me the stuff and it was like 78% Islam. Like, it's almost like Jack is getting nowhere. So the guy hasn't lost in 10 years. He's on an 18-fight win streak, and he just beat Bilal Muhammad, who's, you know, who gave everybody hell before Jack. This fight is a lot closer than people are giving it credit for. And, you know, he's at that point in his career. Came off the Contender Series. Obviously, he's been very successful. The fight of his life is Saturday night. And if he wins this fight, I think you'll see it flip and he'll start getting a lot more respect.
As the fight gets closer, Dana focuses on Jack Della Maddalena's rise. He points out Jack's skill, determination, and recent wins, noting that the young fighter often goes under the radar. Dana emphasizes the respect Jack earns inside his team and says Saturday's bout is the biggest test of his career.
Yeah, listen, he's a tough, gritty, well-rounded, talented kid, you know. Beating Bilal wasn't easy. Bilal gave everybody in that division problems. He was the world champion. Jack went in and beat him, and Jack is definitely not getting the credit he deserves. He's definitely being overlooked by everybody, and Saturday night is his real coming out party. You know, to beat somebody like Islam, when you look at that team and the respect that they have, you know, him and Khabib, this is this is the fight of his life.
After talking about Jack Della Maddalena's potential, Dana reflects on why Islam Makhachev gets so much attention. He explains that Islam's achievements, training camp, and reputation in Dagestan put him in the spotlight. Dana also points out the strong cultural and team support behind Islam, suggesting that Jack is not just facing a champion, but someone with a global presence and high expectations.
I don't think anything he's done before this has caused him to be overlooked. I think it's the exact opposite. I just think that Islam has done so much, and the whole Dagestan and Habib, and you know the camp that they have out there, and like I said, a huge Muslim. This is basically like a Muslim country right now, so I'm sure Jack's feeling it.
A day before the fight, JDM remains calm and locked in. He avoids big talk or drama, keeping his focus tight as he sharpens the final details of his game plan. Jack says preparing for Islam Makhachev is about discipline, patience, and trusting his training. When reporters ask about the challenge, he answers with quiet confidence, showing respect for his opponent while staying fully committed to his own game plan.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. I'm looking forward to it, and it's my time.
During pre-fight interviews, Islam Makhachev is asked about the striking matchup with Jack. He doesn't make bold claims or exaggerate, and speaking with calm confidence, Islam acknowledges Jack's skills while trusting his own. Reporters then ask about his mindset as a champion, and he answers directly, showing focus and respect without overhyping the fight.
Oh, guys, what do you think? I don't know, you know. All fighters have good striking. Yeah, Jack one of the best, and I'm also a good striker. Let's see who is better. I feel I'm still champion, man. I don't lose my belt to anyone, and I just coming to get second one.
Later in the build-up, Islam Makhachev is asked about future matchups and potential super fights. He avoids looking too far ahead. Islam explains that everything he has worked for leads to this moment. With the title on the line, he keeps his full focus on the belt and his dream, showing discipline and dedication, refusing to let speculation distract him from the fight.
I don't know, man. I'm not thinking about this right now. I'm thinking about the belt, and I know I spent all my life for just be champion, you know. And now it's I close to the dream right now.
Furthermore, as fight week continues, JDM is asked what a win over Islam Makhachev would mean for his career. He stays respectful, never downplaying Islam's achievements or legacy. Jack knows that beating a dominant champion could change everything for him. When reporters press him, he clearly explains how a victory would boost his status and mark a turning point in his career.
Yeah, obviously Islam's a legend. Big win over him would be a big name on the resume, and it would definitely put me up there on the pound-for-pound list.
Before the fight, Chael shares a detailed breakdown of the situation. He looks beyond the matchup itself, focusing on Islam Makhachev's career and the bigger picture. Chael talks about belts, timing, and legacy, explaining how Islam's next decisions could shape multiple divisions. Then he gives his full analysis, helping fans understand the significance of the fight and what it means for the sport's future.
Right now, if you were to do it, Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev is the fight. Now, the question only becomes, do you fight for Ilia's belt or do you fight for Islam's? And my belief is you fight for Islam's to give Ilia the opportunity for triple champ status. That's another conversation, but I think that makes that fight bigger. I think that Islam might be looking at that the wrong way. He wants to come back to 55. It's like, no, Islam, all that you need is the fight. That's a match. Just get the fight, and your chances will strengthen if you can add that piece to the story. So I'm going to tell you, we will see actual champ, because being a champ here and then that's a two-time champ, but it's not champ is simultaneous, and sometimes that's just a paperwork issue. But either way, those little details matter, right?
Building on Chael breakdown, Daniel Cormier reflects on the high stakes in Islam Makhachev's career. He analyzes the risks and rewards of chasing titles in multiple divisions. DC highlights the challenge of facing Jack Della Maddalena while holding another belt, noting that every decision carries serious consequences for Islam's legacy and championship status. He emphasizes how this fight could define Islam's place among the sport's elite. He said, "Yeah, I kind of agree. Islam doesn't need to chase both belts at the same time. There is safety in dominating one weight class. The reward is big. Beat Jack, become welterweight champ, win 2 belts. But the risk is high and you lose both. So, is the risk worth the reward?" As the debate heats up, Henry Cejudo shares his thoughts on Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. He admits that he initially underestimated Jack, not expecting him to be such a challenge. Henry praises Jack's hard body attacks and skill, while also acknowledging his loyalty and support for Islam, showing respect for both fighters' abilities in different ways.
I didn't think
What's up?
JDM had a chance in the beginning.
Really? I've been telling you.
Dude, yeah, and you have, and I will give you that, Kamaru. You gotta respect the game and the tenacity of a guy like, you know, Jack Della Maddalena, because, bro, Bilal Muhammad, what JDM did to him in that fight. What JDM did to him in that fight. I only had Bilal Muhammad maybe winning round one. I mean, winning just one round out of the whole 5 rounds, and it was all JDM, dude. He's got a heart, bro, a reach. He attacks the body. Man, I was going Islam Makhachev because he's my brother.
Henry then analyzes the strategy for Islam Makhachev, noting that wrestling is his biggest strength. He points out concerns that if the fight goes to striking, explaining that Jack's striking and body attacks could be dangerous. Even while supporting Islam, Henry emphasizes that Jack presents a real challenge. He concludes that grappling will likely decide the fight's outcome and play a key role in determining the winner.
But man, I don't think it's as simple as I thought it was, and I will definitely backtrack on that. And there's something that does scare me about this fight, Kamaru. There's something that Islam Makhachev said that made me think. If wrestling doesn't work, this is what he said. This is not a good thing. If wrestling doesn't work, we're going to strike. Do you really want to strike with a guy that goes to the body, that kicks, throws knees up the middle, how he caught Gilbert Burns? But that being said, I don't know, Kamaruddin. I want to go Islam Makhachev because of the wrestling, but there's a little bit of doubt of what I said a little bit before. Islam, again, I'm going to quote Islam. If wrestling doesn't work, then we're going to strike. The only way, in my opinion, of Islam Makhachev winning this fight, it's going to have to be through the grappling, particularly the wrestling.
After Henry Cejudo says Islam needs wrestling to win, Usman Kamaru strongly disagrees. He points out that Islam is more than just a grappler. Usman explains that Islam can strike, take opponents down, and finish fights in multiple ways. He stresses that underestimating Islam's full skill set would be a serious mistake inside the cage.
Yeah, I would not expect that from you. I can't believe the blasphemous statement that you just made. Henry, I can't believe what you just said. Are you serious right now? Huh? The only way that he could win is he has to get to the grappling? Are you really? Did you not see the setup? Inside, body, send it to the head, put Volkanovski away. Or, we exchange.
Keep this in mind,
we exchange, boom, shot. Put Charles Oliveira down before I jumped into that arm triangle and put him away. Hey, don't sleep on Islam striking. Now, Islam can strike. Like, that's the difference between, obviously, Khabib was grappler.
Usman then discusses Islam moving up 15 pounds to face Jack Della Maddalena. He highlights that Jack is very skilled and often underrated. Usman explains that Islam's versatility increases his chances of winning, but JDM cannot be ignored. He emphasizes that both fighters deserve respect and notes that the matchup is dangerous for either sides, with no clear path to an easy victory.
Khabib is coming at you. He's going to change levels. He's going to put you down. He's going to beat your face in. Islam is an elevated version of that. He could get you down, he could beat your face in, he could submit you down there, or he could stand and strike with you, hurt you, then finish you. So that was a blasphemous statement, as if that's the only way that he can win. No, Islam can win multiple ways.
No, well, his probability of winning goes up. But that being said, remember though, Kamaru, he's a 55-pounder going up 15 pounds.
Always very big for the division. At one point, was even being called a weight bully.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I get.
What I'm saying is, we gotta give respect to JDM, bro. That's all I'm saying, dude. You cannot just
speak a lot of French today. Oui.
Before sharing his excitement, Demetrius Johnson reflects on Islam Makhachev's career and the path leading to this fight. He reviews Islam's previous opponents, title bouts, and key victories, showing the experience and momentum he has built. DJ emphasizes that each challenge has strengthened his skills, making this fight highly anticipated and significant for his career, with fans eager to see how he performs next.
Now, I'm super excited about this fight because, at one point, Islam was going to be fighting Ilia Topuria, but Islam, he already fought the 145-pound champ. He fought Alex Volkanovski. He fought him twice. The first time they fought, people were like, we thought Volkanovski could have won that fight. Then the second time they fought, Islam ended up knocking out Volkanovski. And then Islam would fight Dustin Poirier, beat Dustin Poirier in the back-to-back war fight. Amazing. And then he was supposed to fight Arman Tsarukyan, but Arman Tsarukyan got injured. And then Moicano steps up and he gets beat. Moicano gets beat by Islam Makhachev.
DJ explains that Islam Makhachev's plan to move up in weight and challenge for the welterweight title. He notes the UFC's current rules against double champions and Islam's motivation to compete at 170 pounds. DJ highlights that fighting closer to his natural weight could give Islam more strength and endurance, making him a more dangerous and well-prepared opponent compared to his previous 155-pound fights.
Islam Makhachev wants the opportunity to go up and fight for the welterweight strap. The UFC does not allow people to be double champ anymore, which I think they should. Why not in this realm of the division? But I get it. Islam want to go 170, Ilia Topuria want to go 155, and Ilia Topuria is still chasing Islam Makhachev. And one of the things we've seen in the past from Islam Makhachev is we have seen his gas tank get tested by Alex Volkanovski, but we had Islam Makhachev on the Mighty Cast. He said all of the time travel and then the time zone change and having to fight, make weight in the fight. I don't think that's going to be the case when he fights JDM because he's going up to 170. So you're going to see a strong, filled out, well-nourished Islam Makhachev. He doesn't have to cut down to 155. He basically is going there at his natural weight at 170, which a lot of people are like, oh, he's smaller. There's nothing. Yeah, there's one thing to be smaller when you're fighting a bigger dude, but I don't think JDM's a massive dude.
DJ turns his attention to Della Maddalena, calling him a dark horse with strong grappling and wrestling skills. He explains how JDM's training with Craig Jones has improved his jiu-jitsu defense against Dagestani wrestlers like Islam. DJ emphasizes Jack's technical striking and disciplined approach, while noting it remains uncertain if his preparation can match Islam's strength, experience, and skill at 170 pounds.
Now, JDM to me is a dark horse. Why do I say dark horse? He's not very well known unless you follow the UFC like, abandoned. Right? Like Guru knows all of his fights before he got to the UFC, where I did not know all his fights he got to the UFC. But the first time I caught my eye on JDM was when he fought Gilbert Burns. He never accepts the position. If Gilbert Burns would take him down, he's always wrestling, he's always grappling. But he has one thing that's a key in his camp, and that is the great savior of jiu-jitsu is Craig Jonesy, right? Craig Jones has been able to jump inside of the Aussie camp and be able to give these guys a good recipe to be able to counter the Dagestani wrestling.
Adding on, Dylan Dennis talks about the hype around Islam Makhachev and the so-called super fight. He points out that Australia has never produced an Olympic gold medalist in major sports and lacks big leagues like the NBA, MLB, or rugby. While Australia has fighters like Robert Whittaker, the sports infrastructure is limited, showing that Australian fighters face unique challenges compared to athletes from larger sporting nations.
It's not a super fight, by the way, because if you think about it, Australians, they never have one Olympic athlete ever win in the Olympics. They don't have any sports. You don't get a college. There's no sports in Australia. First off, okay, so you have a main eventer that's Australian. Okay, first off,
they've got Volkanovski, who's one of the best. They've got Robert Whittaker, who's been one of the best. So they've done a pretty good job of making mixed martial artists.
Dennis shifts to Islam Makhachev, questioning claims that he's the best lightweight of all time. He explains that most of Islam's wins came against featherweights, and he hasn't faced true lightweight competition yet. Dennis suggests that while Islam is talented, some of the hype might exaggerate his achievements, emphasizing the importance of looking closely at the level of opponents he has actually defeated.
I guess so, but if you think about it, they don't have any sports. There's no major league, there's no NBA there, there's no MLB, there's no rugby, there's nothing.
You don't know about Aussie rules football?
Is that Australian? Yeah, but imagine what our NFL players would do to those guys. Come on.
It's a pretty good sport, actually, but I'm not the biggest sports guy, so I don't know much about it. But anyway, so
and then you got Islam. Sorry, that people think that he's the best lightweight of all time. Every single guy that he beat at lightweight was a featherweight, if you think about it.
As the press conference and expert breakdowns show, this fight is more than just a matchup. It's a true test of skill, strategy, and heart. Islam Makhachev's focus, discipline, and versatility make him a formidable opponent, while Jack Della Maddalena's rise, technique, and resilience make him a serious threat. Every expert highlights that the outcome could reshape careers and impact legacies in the welterweight division. Fans are witnessing a clash of experience, preparation, and determination, with both fighters fully aware of what's at stake. So, who do you think will come out on top? Islam's precision and experience, or Jack's power and heart? Comment your prediction below and explain why.